Robert was born on a farm north of Richfield on 175 in 1934. His family attended St. Boniface Church and School, where he made his first Holy Communion. Later, after Dad died in 1940, the family moved to Slinger at 111 Stork Street, where Bob lives today. After high school, Bob worked for a number of companies before ending at West Bend Aluminum Company for a number of years. After spending 1.5 years in the National Guard, Bob joined the U.S. Air Force for 4 years. Later, after the Air Force, Bob brought Eddie Winter's store and started selling groceries. This happened in 1960, and in 1965 he joined the Slinger Advancement Association. In this organization he did primarily all of the duties and all of the 4 top-notch organization bosses. In 1969, Bob was on the committee for the 69 Centennial. Bob also was chairman of the Bingo Committee for over 10 years. He also served as chairman of the Slingerfest Committee and also worked at all of the association's different money-making endeavors. In between this being with the Slinger Advancement Association, Bob in 1958 married Irene Held. In the process, after marrying, he also played baseball, hardball for the Slinger Association in the Rock River League. He played hardball with that team for 11 years. Finally, at age 83, he has finally decided to hang things up. Being a member of St. Peter's Church, Bob was the first chairman of St. Peter's Parish Council, being noted in many other enterprises. He also seemed to be always on the go. His last and final job will be after assistant member of the cemetery committee. Getting back to Bob's time in the Air Force, basic training was at Lackland Air Force Base. Upon returning after basic training, he went to Biloxi Air Force Base for training in radar communications. Another airman and Bob applied for pilot training and passed, and he was assigned to a radar station at Antigo, Wisconsin. After 3 months, he had to report to Lackland again for officer training. It was here that Bob re-injured his knee and was sent to the hospital for surgery and recovery. Upon leaving the hospital in February the next year, he was sent to Detroit, Michigan, to a radar communications headquarters. After about a year, a notice came for one airman for overseas duty, which he took. He was assigned to a radar station 250 miles due west of Anchorage, Alaska. Upon completion of duty, he came back to the States and ended up at Truex Air Force Base in Madison. It was here he finished his service in March of 1957. Upon returning to civilian life, Bob went back to working at West Bend Aluminum Company, working there for a number of years. Then he went and purchased Winter's store and went into the grocery selling business in 1960. After 10 years, Bob closed up the business and went to work for Jack Hansen's store. Later, after he worked for 33 years until retirement, Bob still lives at 111 Stork Street, Slinger, Wisconsin. Amen.